All right, let's get right into the this week's video here. Tonight, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about Bitcoin here. I know that I've been sharing some Bitcoin charts, weekly chart, monthly chart. I also did a video a week ago or something like that. I'm sure you guys watched it. And so in tonight's analysis, I want to do more of a shorter term, kind of a follow-up video.
Perfect.
Seeing that a lot of these, we got Bitcoin and a lot of these crypto miners are down quite heavily, as you can see. Grayscale Bitcoin is down 7%, along with the Ethereum is down 7%, MSTR, and pretty much every single these crypto miners are down close to 5% or so. I guess looks like only thing green today is Wolf. Grayscale Bitcoin GBTC daily chart. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom in here and we'll look at the oscillator as well towards the end of this video on this daily chart. And so there are a couple down gaps. As you can see here, it failed to make new highs here. That's a 2024 peak. That's kind of a lower high. We have the neckline right here at 50 or so, 53 on GBTC. A lot of people are going to look at this potentially a double top, but that double top is not going to be fully confirmed until we lose the neckline. What you're looking for is this thing making lower low, and then subsequently it needs to make lower high. And we don't know how it's going to do that lower high. I mean, it could be here, it could be here, or it could just go straight down and then do that. Nobody knows how we're going to see that lower high. But essentially, if you want to see the trend shift, that's what double top, what the double top is that we're no longer cultivating higher highs and higher lows. And what we're seeing is slightly lower high, and then if we start to see lower low, that's when you say, hey, you know what, the uptrend is dying, the momentum is shifting, and the trend is possibly have changed back to a downtrend, right? And that's what really double top represents. It's just that a lot of times people don't realize. They just look at the double top and they start calling it. But I think it's a little bit too premature to call double top yet. We do have a formation there, but look at this key moving average here. That's my midterm moving average on my daily chart. As you can see, that's the blue dotted moving average. So you can see that blue dotted moving average has been supporting the buyers. We see a little pullback last October. So, and ever since then, we have not retested midterm. You can see that follow that midterm. That midterm has not been retested, and if I do this, you can see how it started going vertical here, and the spacing got bigger and bigger and bigger, and finally it came down to it here in April. We bounced right off of it, and then we came down, and I was just emphasizing this fact on my X account today. Letting you guys know that we've broken below that midterm with the down gap. So now we've lost both of these micro and short-term moving averages for a couple weeks now, and then we've also lost that midterm. And so obviously, it's been just only one day that we're below the midterm, and so it could be some sort of shenanigan or something like that. Bitcoin gaps up tomorrow, or GBTC gaps up tomorrow, and the reclaims that are so. Anything is obviously a possibility, but given the fact that midterm has not been breached almost close to a year, it's a significant early signal, right? We want to see further development off of this, knowing the fact that the midterm was respected in April and now broken below it. That's a kind of a concerning signal on top of what we talked about on the monthly chart and the weekly chart, right? So you can see how Bitcoin loses its momentum. You see how there is that accumulation phase, right? That's the accumulation phase here. And during the accumulation phase, you're going to see the market kind of bottoming out. This is where a lot of people are going to refer this to as a inverted head and shoulder. I'm sure you heard about it if you're roaming around the social media, this, finance social media platforms. Hear a lot about inverted head and shoulders. Just like the double top inverted head and shoulder, all it is for the downtrend to continue, it needs to continue to develop lower highs and lower lows. Inverted head and shoulder, you can see that's a low, that's a higher low, right? What it needs to confirm, it needs a higher high. And that will be the early signal that, hey, the trend might be, actually it happened here, low, lower low, high, higher high. And you see that for about a year during, mid 2022 to like late 2023, mid 2023, it was bottoming out, quietly forming that inverted head and shoulders. As I talked about on my video, the best time to buy here is in this vicinity, not up here. So buying here makes sense. Buying here makes sense. That's exactly what I did. Buying here, no. Buying here, no. Buying here, no. That's why I got out here. There's highest buying volume near the peak. Why? Because majority of market participants, they're always buying the highs. They're not buying the lows because they're scared. Best time to buy is in this vicinity, not up here. You do not have to pick the perfect low. You just need a little bit of a patience and accumulate when everybody was lost interest in crypto market and in both Bitcoin, right? That's when smart money start accumulating. This is what we call public participation. Public participation, that's what makes that vertical move. And then distribution phase, right? During distribution phase, you're gonna see where market starts to kind of stall. I mean, it's gonna have these spikes up and down, a lot of volatility, but it just fails to make that higher high, right? That's what's important, is it fails to create that higher high. For the uptrend to continue, we're looking at 2021 price action here. For the uptrend to continue, what we want to see is continuation with the higher high and higher low. But what happens is it fails to make higher high. What it does is it makes lower high. You see that? It makes lower high. And then it falls down, start losing that micro term and short term, and start losing that midterm, right? When the first trend is getting established, you're gonna see that. And then, if something like Bitcoin, it's obviously gonna go straight up, because if you missed out your entries, people wanna start YOLOing. And then once they stop cultivating the higher lows and higher highs and stalling and moving sideways, and then start making lower highs and lower lows and start losing some of these key moving averages, then you start being cautious. Start being cautious, right? So you see this thing, even then, it fails to make what? Higher high. And that's sort of what happened here. It fails to make what? Higher high. That's a lower high. And that's why this 50 level right here, that's going to be the key level. So what's going to happen is, okay, if we break below it, what is it going to happen if it breaks below and then we start coming down, making lower highs, and then start breaking down, and we start seeing, crypto markets start crashing down. Well, I mean, if you compare it to, as you can see, I put out this Fibonacci levels here last time. You see that my last level fib, right? That's the last level of my fib right here, coinciding with my primary term moving average. That's the thick pink moving average. So that's about here. We're talking like 31 or so, and it's gonna travel a little bit as this thing, comes down. It's gonna travel a little bit. It might even meet with the 50%, given that it's already above the last level of my fib. And so some of those levels that we want to pay attention to, potentially like a midterm bounce. But looking at my daily oscillator, we are oversold, right? And you see how this market sees that downturn, and there's bearish divergence there. But the oscillator is extremely oversold, it seems. It hasn't crossed back up yet. And so we might see some kind of oversold bounce in this week. But I don't know that that's going to be enough to actually completely fully reverse this thing. I think it's gonna need more, maybe a bullish divergence, maybe some weekly signal. I think the daily signal is not gonna be enough. Again, there will be where it could, if you start breaking down, especially below the midterm moving average, that's my dotted blue there. Once they start getting below the midterm, even if it gets the oversold, we could see sort of short term, even like intraday bounce or something like that. But you see the trajectory of that overall move below the micro term and the short term, below the micro term and the short term, below the micro term and the short term.